I just got back to the United States from Finland. I was at the 2025 PDGA World Championships in Tampere and Nokia, Finland. And today I want to tell you a little bit about my experience as a VIP ticket holder as well as a media credential holder. First off, I want to say a massive shout out to Power Grip Europe and Power Grip USA. We just dropped the Broadbird 2.0. If you're interested in one of those, go pick them up. They got me over there. They kind of planned this whole thing, and I was super excited to be there to experience what I think a lot of people would consider to be the biggest disc golf event to ever happen. I'm gonna not focus a ton on like the play itself, because I'm sure by now we've all seen that play out. Go check out Wild Runs, go check out Disc Golf World if you're looking for like a recap, and then go check out the full coverage if you want to see the whole thing. You're not going to get that here. But I wanted to kind of talk about like, you know, what you got to do, what you got to experience if you were at this event. So basically at Worlds, and I'd assume at a lot of other Pro Tour events, there's different tiers. I had an area VIP. Above me, there was like front row VIP, I think was the top, which basically meant you got front row behind lead and chase card for every round, and you got to see all of the action. You got to follow the cards. I think Fairway VIP also would have been that. So basically at the Monster, some of the course, only those VIP holders were able to go, whereas the rest of kind of general admission kind of had to stay maybe on the front few holes and then the back few holes. And then out at the Beast, there was a little more area to free roam with the free spectator experience. Anybody could come and watch the action. Were you gonna be able to see the action? I guess that's the question that I'll answer is, to be honest, not necessarily. If you had front row VIP, area VIP, or fairway VIP, you got a decent view of the action. Other than that, we all saw the coverage. There was, from what I've heard on the final day, 10,000 plus people watching MPO, and it was insane out there. It was a madhouse. The rows of people were probably, 10, 20 deep, flowing around pretty much hole 15. Now we'll call it hole 16, 17, and 18, the whole ending track of the Beast. And it was pretty tricky to see. Luckily for me, that's kind of where the media credentials came into play. As I was out there vlogging, taking some videos. If you haven't watched my videos from earlier in the week, I know I said that I was going to do a daily vlog, but I kind of realized that there wasn't quite enough to really bring you guys like a daily vlog. And then I figured it'd be better for me to just take in the experience on the final couple days and then maybe share some info with you guys afterwards, which is what we're doing right now. One of the coolest things was I was able to follow every single card other than lead and chase right behind them, like right next to them, like, hey man, how's it going, player? Not that I was saying that to them mid-round, unless they were my buddy, but and then I could film all that. That's a lot of the coverage that you guys were able to see. I was able to follow Kayla Viska, Paul McBeth, Andrew Miranda, a ton of other players that I kind of, followed for a few holes and captured a little bit of their round, and that was super cool. The number one perk of having the media credential for me was on the final day, there's like the media pit basically up by the scoreboard on hole 18. If you had a yellow vest media credential, which basically meant you weren't like Pro Tour media, but you had like a real camera and you were up there shooting. My battery died, so I was ripping the iPhone. You got to go up there, pretty much get in front of everybody, watch that finishing hole, watch Gannon Buhr tap out on 18 from like 25 feet away. It was pretty sweet. It was a spectator experience that not many people got unless you were there very early. You had the highest tier of VIP. You really got to like kind of see it close up, which was super, super cool. I'll talk a little bit about the VIP in terms of like the bonus stuff that you got. We got like a Worlds like players pack, I guess. I got a couple discs, I got a hat, I got a Velcro patch, just a little like goodie bag of things, which was cool, but that doesn't really have a ton of value to me. Also, I want to say I didn't pay for anything. I didn't pay for a single thing this trip. So take all of this info from somebody who had no financial investment into this experience. So, you know, if that skews the opinions, not that the opinions are going to be like anything crazy. One thing that was cool was if you had VIP, you got a catered lunch every single day. A lot of times it was like some sort of meatballs, you know, chicken, whatever, with like roasted potatoes, bread, salads, unlimited hot coffee, because in Finland, they be drinking some drip coffee. It is absolutely insane. Midday, 80 degrees, ripping cups of joe. Not me. I'm a nice coffee type of guy, but that was part of the experience. Was it anything over the top? Not necessarily, but you were guaranteed a good buffet lunch every day, which I'll tell you, if I would have been out there for the amount of hours I was out there every day, and I wouldn't have been able to absolutely pig out after watching FPO in the morning, I would have been even more toast than I already was. The jet lag got me, to say the least. This is my first trip out of the country. This is my first, 9.5 hour flight. This is my first time really experiencing jet lag, and holy shit, I was tired all week. Made the experience, a little mentally less enjoyable because I was just dragging the whole week, but you kind of had to realize like, hey, it's just a week, you're here, just enjoy it, just live it, you know what I mean? But the food, I really enjoyed it. I'm sure there's other people who are maybe like, oh, it's just like a, random little buffet of a few options. I thought it was great, honestly. That said, I didn't pay for it. That's kind of it though. I was a little bit like, I don't know, I was expecting like something more because of how grand the stage was, we'll call it. I can't even name what I was expecting, so maybe I'm just like, thought maybe would be more. Overall, I really have no complaints. Did, on the other hand, get to experience the Nomad trip. We got Nathan Sakakowskowitz with us once again.
Even closer. Even closer.
We're going into the Skybox, guys. So this is the Nomad travel experience. You do the socials for that, right? That's why you're here?
Just started doing that, and Dudu's talking about plans that are going on next year.
Game over. Y'all probably are going to want to sign up.
You definitely going to want to sign up. It's going to be insane.
Woo! Yeah. Would you make that one?
I think so. In front of that many people?
I do that.
For sure.
All-inclusive, like, disc golf trips. Basically, you pay, like, a flat rate, and you get to do this crazy experience kind of at the highest tier of everything. They got their own box, like viewing box, skybox, I guess you'd call it, maybe on like hole 18, where they had like food catered, energy drinks, bunch of drinks. I got to go up there a little bit, check it out. I actually was up there for the hole 18 debacle, I'm gonna call it, from the FPO side in the morning, which was an amazing view. A little bit higher up, you kind of get to see everything happen. You could almost like grab the upshots out of the sky. I think that the main takeaway for me this weekend was the amount of people. I haven't been to a ton of Disc Golf Pro Tour events. I've been to a few, and there's always a lot of people. You're like, this is cool. Tons of people out here watching disc golf. But when I tell you that like Wednesday FPO lead card had more people than most final day MPO lead cards in the States, it was crazy. It was crazy to see. Most pro tours, I think, if for some reason they started out on a Wednesday in the States, there'd be like 20 people out there watching, and there were hundreds. It was something else in terms of disc golf. And then the whole week, it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then, you get to that final day, the culmination of the whole week. The most energy I honestly think I felt the whole week was when Ida threw her approach on hole 18 in the playoff round. I like it.
Bro. Hey, baby. Hey, come on. Hey, yes!
Yeah! She threw her second shot. Pretty aggressive second shot, to be honest, but like just laced it. Perfect placement. And as a hometown, a girl from Finland, the crowd went nuts. I think that was the loudest I heard the crowd all week. Unfortunately, we all know what happened after that shot. One thing that it was interesting. I was watching the MPO lead, and on hole 18, you guys probably saw it. AB went for like the eagle. Like I don't know if he's like trying to drive the green necessarily, but he was trying to do something. And I was actually standing right next to his mom, and she was like tearing up a little bit. You could see her like getting a little emotional.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
And I was like, damn, that's like making me emotional. Like, I don't know. It was a, I don't know. I feel like I'm not the best at like putting in, like explaining how the experience made you feel. That the whole week was something special, but the final day out there really was something else. Like it was like nothing you ever seen before in disc golf, honestly. It just made things feel like they're moving in the right direction. It's interesting because we'll see what happens after this, because there might be a little down tick in terms of, you know, can this happen again, you know, in the near future? I don't really know. One thing I do want to touch on is the expo. It was billed as the world's biggest disc golf expo. No, it was not. I've seen bigger, although not an expo, I've seen bigger fly marks at Disc Golf Pro Tour events than this expo. I don't know why they thought they should market it as the world's biggest disc golf. Maybe the most people ever, I guess, in theory. Like the most, like 10,000 plus people probably walked through there. Maybe even like 15 because of, you know, like all the people coming through on both Saturday and Sunday. But was it the biggest expo in terms of like vendors and stuff available? Not even close. Like Disc South was four times as big as this world's expo. So that was it was weird to me because it was literally advertised as the biggest disc golf expo to ever exist, and I've seen fly marts bigger than this disc golf expo. Was it a bad expo? No, it wasn't. It was great. It was cool. Also, shout out to everybody I met that came through and bought a Broadbird. You guys are awesome. It was great to finally get to meet a bunch of the European Frisbee clubbers coming in from all over the place, and finally get to put a conversation and a handshake to a lot of these faces I DM with on Instagram over the last couple of years. So that was super cool. Super grateful for all of you guys. I don't know when the Broadbirds are going to be available on Power Grip Europe. Sometime later this week, hopefully. They might be available right now when this video is live. I'll let you know. They probably aren't though, but they'll be available. So if you're a European Frisbee clubber who wasn't at Worlds but you want a Broadbird, keep your eyes peeled. I will let you know. They'll be coming soon. Still available at powergripusa.com also. I have a hard time, like, I'm not trying to sit here and like tell you guys all about the event, because I feel like people, like, you've seen it all, you know, but I do just want to like reiterate like how crazy it was in person to like see the amount of people. I kept trying to take pictures and videos down by like hole 16 because that was kind of the best vantage point. Kind of when you were behind the players throwing their upshots on hole 16. That was, I think, where you could really realize how grand this whole thing was and how many people, where the next 3 holes, the fairways completely lined with seas of people. It was insane. I could not imagine like whatever feeling it evoked from the players. It had to be something crazy. As cool as it is to see Own win Worlds, and like as happy as I'm sure that is, I think it was pretty sad to see Ida not take it home, especially because she outplayed the field by a ton.
Let's go!
You know, if it wasn't for hole 16, the one day she walks that thing in easily, and maybe some of you guys are the people who are like, well, she shouldn't have took the 13. Yeah, I get that. But that hole also, like, that happens, the amount of times it happened to players that week. It's one of them things where it's avoidable, throw better shots, but at the same time, the percentage of it happening is like so high, actually. And I truly think she deserved the weekend because she outplayed everybody. She looked so much better than everybody else, like on so many levels. The way she was able to throw the disc, the way she was able to putt, it's sad she ended up losing it because I'm glad to own one because I don't think anybody else deserved to win, to be honest, the way I saw some of the play, some of the putting. It was pretty, I'll be honest, I think it's like a pretty sad display of talent. I'm not saying I would do any better, but some of the putts were, I don't even know what to say. You've seen it. I'm sure y'all got opinions. But Ida, that girl has a bright future. I got a chance to talk to her just a little bit at the Power Grip booth. She's sponsored by Power Grip as well. But seemed like a super nice girl. This was after she had lost. Like an hour later, I was, just a little conversation with her, and she was doing great. Like mentally, I think she still was like feeling so good about her weekend and was super proud. So that was super cool to see. On the MPO side, a little bit of a battle. Cool to see Gossage pull out another second place. I'm glad to see Gannon win because I like witnessing greatness. I kind of compare it to when people would like hate on Tom Brady. It's like, bro, you're just mad at somebody for being great. And I think that's kind of how I see Gannon. Like I just like seeing him be great. I think it's super cool because he's doing something that we've never seen before. I would have loved to see AB in contention down the stretch. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out like that. I think everybody there kind of just realized, like, wow, this is what disc golf could be. And I think it's interesting because it's probably not going to be that consistently going forward for a while. But we kind of saw, what it could be. It was cool because UC actually came up to me and like kind of introduced himself. He said, he didn't introduce himself to me because when someone comes up to you and it's like, I know I should know who you are and he knows I should know who he is, and I did know who he was. But he's like, hey, like I've seen some of your videos, like keep up the good work. Are you vlogging out here? That was like, yeah, what the heck? How is UC seen some of my videos? Pretty wild. Once again, shout out to Power Grip Europe, shout out to Erno, shout out for just getting me over there to experience this trip. It was crazy. I don't know. I'm not very good at like talking about the emotion of some experiences like that. Thanks for watching, guys. Back to the regularly scheduled programming going forward here, and I'm excited. So we're back in Washington. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Creator of Frisbee Club, motherfuckers.
The man, the myth.
And right here, I have a Frisbee bag. It holds all my Frisbees, the ones I like.